Hey everybody, my name is Albert Corey, and I would like to welcome you to business owners. What could use just a little bit extra every month? My name is Albert Corey, and I've assisted over 140,000 tax clients, saving them over $200 million. Today's presentation is about how you can start putting more money in your pocket with less stress and capital. It's the same system we've been using for almost 40 years. So now the first key to success is make sure you know you have a great accountant. Sorry, look, I've been doing it for almost 40 years. I'm not trying to get your business. I'm just showing you some simple ways you can start putting money in your pocket. This presentation is about questions you can go and start telling whoever's doing your tax returns to start putting money in your pocket with less stress and capital. Most of the tips you're going to learn today that you can do almost instantly. We've been using the same ones for almost 40 years. So now, have you ever tried to cut a tomato with a dull knife? What happens? Nothing. It squishes, goes everywhere, all over the place. Well, guess what? It's the same thing that happens when you hire your accountant. You see, you got to make sure whoever's going to do your tax returns, whoever's going to do your 940s, whoever's going to do your financial papers has the skills to make sure that it's going to get done right. It's going to make sure that there's less chances of you getting an audit. You see, when you have a dull knife or somebody who doesn't know anything, two things are going to start to happen. You could have to start paying more money to the IRS, or two, you could get an audit letter because he didn't do it right. So what we're going to show you is how to make sure you get the right questions. So when you go start to hire the accountant, you're going to do is start asking them questions about your business. He doesn't have to know everything, but you got to make sure he can answer all the questions. You got to make sure he's going to be around. Make sure that they're not working out of their house or they're not doing TurboTax. You see, if you see that they're not giving you a folder with their name on it, then you don't go to them. You want to make sure that their name is at the bottom of every tax return because that's going to make sure that he's a good accountant and he's going to be there to stay. That he should be around for a long time. You see, most of the scammers, most of the clients that I've worked with that's gotten into trouble, there's no name on the bottom of the forms. Whoever's doing the return doesn't have their name. And they're giving their tax returns in like those manila plain folders. You don't want that. That's one way you can know. And the second thing is go check to see if they got any reviews. If they got reviews on Google, that's great because now you can trust the reviews. Make sure you might ask other friends and family. Make sure you ask the question, are they going to be around to help you all year round? There's plenty of people who do tax returns and they're not there when you get an IRS question. Make sure you're not going to go to their houses because statistically, if you go to their houses, they're not going to be there the next time. If you have any questions. So now, did you know over 50% of business owners have stress due to cash flow? That's right. So we're here to show you how to make sure you have more money in your pocket with less stress and capital. Well, like I said, one of the ways we went over earlier is make sure you have the guy who's going to do your accounting work that has the sharp knife, that is going to know all the deductions. Now, one of the simplest ways to start saving money on your tax return is you got to know the dates. If you're a business owner, there's like 5 dates you got to know. The first date you must know if you're a business owner is March 15th. March 15th says that your business tax return is due unless you file an extension. When you file an extension, it now gives you up to to um to, to September 15th. This is very important because most small business owners think it's the same date as your personal return. That's April 15th. Well, if you got a business, okay, most people, most accounting firms will not have the time to file your tax return, not have time to file your tax return by March 15th. So you got to know the 4 dates to start saving money. Well, the first date is, I always have told our clients, is you got to know that January 8th is the first date you want to know. So I want everybody who's watching this presentation, I want you to put out your cell phone, and then on the dates I'm going to tell you, start marking in these dates as a reminder, because this can start saving you some serious money. Because if you have an LLC, which is usually two partners, they're going to charge you $400 a month. Now, a lot of these people who do it themselves come in late April. Well, in late April, that's going to cost you $800, all because you didn't know the dates. So now I want you to put in your phone that on January 8th, you're going to call whoever's doing your tax return. You're going to call them and say, please file an extension for me. Now, after you call them, I want you to call them back and say, please give me a confirmation. Now, once they give you that confirmation number, because if they e-filed it and they give you a confirmation number, then you know it got filed. So now you got up to September 15th to file your business tax returns without getting an IRS letter. It won't be late. The second date you got to know is July 8th. July 8th is very important because most of my business clients have not gotten their papers ready. They don't have an income statement that tells them how much they deposit in a list of expenses. So this is the time that you got to either start doing yourself, start getting all your bank statements, and listing how much you deposit in a list of expenses. You then give that to whoever's doing your tax return. If you don't want to do this, obviously this is done in QuickBooks. If you don't want to take the time and spread it out and put it on papers, go out and hire a bookkeeper. The next date you have to go and get is going to be August 8th. August 8th is very important for a bunch of reasons. The first reason is on August 8th, you want to call up who's doing your tax return. You see, most of these people doing tax returns, they take appointments. So you want to go call them up on August 8th to make sure they have time for you and to get the date set. Now, the next reason why August 8th is important is because if he's not there, okay, now you're going to have to start to get somebody else. There's usually 3 reasons why they're not there. Either they're out of business or they died. So therefore, you're going to have to start looking for somebody else. Probably some of the simplest ways to find good quality people is you might want to go out and do Google reviews and check. Try to get somebody who has over 10 reviews or more, because I know that they're there, or check Yelp. That's another great way to get things done. And obviously the other way is make sure they're not dead. Okay? And they're in business. Now the last date is going to be September 15th when all businesses returns are due. So now, you got to get them in by that date. But like I said, you got to start finding time to get it done earlier, because by then, whoever you're going to might have all their calendar booked up and you're going to start to scramble. So this is how you can start saving money almost instantly. Now, here's another way you can start saving money is make sure that your mailbox could start saving you money. That's right. Where your business located can be a key component on how you can save money on the IRS, on IRS business returns. Because remember, IRS is a federal tax return. It doesn't matter what 50 states you live in. It's one federal return. So if you have a business, you might not want to be, and it's doing well, you don't want to be in the 42 states that have state income tax. Some of the notorious states that are really going to get you hard is states like California, that even if you have a small corporation, that even if you're losing money, they're charging you $800. If you have a corporation, you start making money, they're charging you like 15 to 18% profit on their money. States like that's the same thing, whether you're in New York, New Jersey, the Northeast. You want to be in the 6 states that don't have state income tax. That's Florida, Tennessee, Texas, Nevada, Wyoming, and Washington. These people don't have state income tax, and that could save you a whole bunch of money. It's like I have a client who, when they moved the state from Oklahoma to Florida, then guess what? They stopped they didn't have to pay state income tax on that company, and they saved over $19,000. Dude, that's enough money, right? That's how you can start increasing your profits with less stress in capital. Okay, that's a simple way you can start. Walmart, like I said, Walmart is in Arkansas. They got stores in all 50 states, but they only pay state tax in Arkansas, so they don't have to pay any state tax. It's one way you can start saving money. But here's a little known myth that nobody ever knows about or doesn't think about it. Most people think that when you file an amended return, there's less chances you're going to get audited. That's not true. It doesn't matter, and I filed literally thousands of these over the last 40 years. It doesn't matter when you file it doesn't matter when you did an amended return. They're checking the return as if you filed it like a normal return. So if you make mistakes on it, it's like having a normal return. Did you know there's a lot of people who do tax returns that they won't do amended returns? My office does at least 200 to 300 returns because these people don't want to do amended returns. Okay? They don't want to do amended returns. Another way you can start saving money real quick is when you open up the corporations, make sure that you file the renewals on time. You see, every state has a renewal date. And if you pay these people late, you're going to pay late fees. So why would you want to pay late fees when you don't, if you file everything on time, then you don't have to pay late fees. And most states give you like 4 months. In other words, the renewal starts on January 1st and it runs from April 30th, depending on the state, to May. So you got 5 to 6 months to pay the renewal fees. So make sure you can start paying it on time. Here's another way you can start putting more money in your pocket almost instantly. Now, I want you to write down everything that you pay monthly subscription on. You got to ask yourself the question my wife that she learned from her grandma says, do you need it? Okay, and are you using it? So you need to write down everything you got a subscription for, everything that you're paying monthly on. Okay, like Netflix, Hulu. Maybe you can downgrade your cable bill. The other day I downgraded my Comcast. I wasn't watching the TV on Comcast anymore, so I took it off. That's saving me, and I switched to Google TV. Well, that little switch saved me $125 a month. Pretty cool. I started saving 100 just by switching that alone. Now, I started cutting off all the apps on my phone that I'm not using anymore. I went in my phone and I start cutting them off. Here's another great way you can start saving money almost instantly. I don't know about you, but if you're a business owner, I used to have over 300 GoDaddy domain names. And every month they were clicking up and that was cost me a lot of money. So now what did I started to do? I started cutting them off. Because if you got a domain name and you haven't used it in 5 or 6 years, it's time to cut it off. Chances are, unless it's something really, really, really different that you're going to try to domain squatting, that's different. But most of the domain names, if you're not using them in 3 or 4 years, then you cut it off and you can start saving money. Now, all these tips start to add up. And the best part of everything I've been talking about in the last few minutes is this is all done with less stress and capital. It's everything I talk about in our Amplify Your Business is guess what? We're showing you how to save money that's not going to cost you any stress. Okay. Because, like I said, you're going to cut off the apps that you're not using. You're cutting off the GoDaddies you're not using. You're cutting, you're going to make sure whoever does your tax return is going to get it done with less stress. You see, so that's all going to start to save your money. And at the end of the day, it's going to, over the next few years, you're going to start saving thousands of dollars. So start making a list of stuff you can start to cut off, and you're going to see you'll start putting money in your pocket almost instantly. We've been using these same systems for almost 40 years. And by the way, if you want any questions or comments, there's going to be a link below for a free consultation. So thank you and get your consultation. Bye-bye. What here?